June is a powerful, pivotal month. Saturn has now joined Neptune in fiery, bold, fresh start Aries, and they're being activated this month by the Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter. Jupiter will move into the sign of its exaltation, Cancer, and Venus is going to move into her home sign of Taurus, where she loves to be. As positive as this is, we're also going to have some challenging transits, catalyzing us to reclaim our power and create a solid, sustainable foundation from the inside out. So in this video, my friend, I am excited to share with you the key transits and the dates, the most important transits of June 2025, how we can navigate these transits, both the very supportive ones and the challenging ones, with the most ease and grace. And in part 2, I will be doing June horoscopes for all 12 signs based on your rising sign. Listen to your moon and sun signs as well for further themes and intuitive messages. And as always, I will be pulling an oracle card for each of the 12 signs as well. Be sure you watch part 1 before you jump to your monthly horoscopes, because there are a number of transits affecting the collective, affecting each and every one of us, that I won't be sharing in the individual horoscopes. And I don't want you to miss them. So before I dive deeper, I want to warmly welcome you if you are brand new to the channel. If you are highly sensitive, empathic, on a spiritual path, you have found your tribe. This is a like-minded community. Take a moment right now to tap the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well so you don't miss a video. Welcome back to all of you who are so supportive of the channel. Thank you for subscribing. I would not be here without you. Same thing, if you haven't subscribed, take a moment right now to subscribe. And I'm so happy that we are all part of this soul family together. I'm Betsy. I am a psychic astrologer as well as an intuitive life coach. And it's my intention to empower you through Western tropical astrology. I do astrology consultations. I'm a full-time professional astrologer. I will say more about my readings and coaching at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. I also have a free gift for you. If you would like to know more about the free gift and how you can get it, stay tuned till the end. And I write about the astrology between videos in my weekly inspirational astrology updates. If you'd like to receive my weekly updates before they go out on social media, go to my website, subscribe for free, and you will get my free instant download gift right away. As the month of June begins, we are still in Gemini season. The sun will be in Gemini for almost 3 weeks until June 20th, when it changes signs. Happy birthday to all of you lovely Gemini people with birthdays in June. On June 1st, June begins with Venus making a conjunction to Chiron in Aries. This is a very healing transit, specifically helping us to heal a core wound. We all come into this lifetime with a core wound of abandonment, betrayal, or shame. It's where we feel a tenderness, an ouch, a sensitivity. This is a beautiful transit, especially for self-love, for having a heart-to-heart talk. Say what you need to say. It can be a healing balm for something that's been bothering you for some time. On June 4th, Venus in Aries is going to make a beautiful sextile to Jupiter in Gemini. Venus in Aries is focused on the self. This is fiery, bold. What do I want? What do I want for my life going forward? The I am identity. This could feel like a spark of inspired confidence, renewed courage. You could feel like I've come a long way. It's an atta-girl or an atta-boy. Maybe you've overcome a challenge. This is great for love, romance, to have a date night. And it feels to me like a sweet kiss that Jupiter in Gemini is giving Venus in Aries before Jupiter leaves Gemini and hands the baton to Gemini's neighboring sign of Cancer. On June 6th, this is one of my favorite transits of the month, Venus is going to enter her home sign of Taurus. In Taurus, this is physical, earthly pleasure. With Venus in Taurus, we want to slow down. We want to savor the simple joys, comforts of life. Venus in Taurus is also focused on financial stability, on security. This is a great transit for self-care and self-love, aligning or realigning our life or our choices with our current values. With Venus in Taurus, you want to give yourself that new dress if you can. You want to ask for the raise. This is a very positive transit for manifesting what your heart most desires, anything that feels like it would be an upgrade to your quality of life. On June 8th, Mercury, the winged messenger, which rules our thinking and our stories, the divine downloads that we receive, Mercury is going to leave Gemini, where it has quite a fast pace, and it's going to enter highly sensitive water sign Cancer. Our thoughts may shift to home and family matters. Mercury in Cancer can also move our focus to self-care. Emotional security. Cancer energy is very creative. So anything that you love to do, any kind of beautifying, time with your loved ones. Many of us between June 8th and June 25th, when Mercury is in Cancer, will be making plans around spending time with people that we love. Also a great transit for doing ancestral healing or healing on the mother line. On June 9th, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the largest planet in our solar system, so we really feel Jupiter transits. They are generally feel-good transits, said to bring good fortune, fortuitous blessings. Jupiter will leave Gemini and enter Cancer, where we want to nurture and be nurtured, the sign of emotional security. Home, family, getting cozy under a blanket, kicking back, eating our favorite foods. Think of your favorite feel-good movie. That's Jupiter in Cancer. And Jupiter is exalted here, which means that it is in its full power. It does well here. And we get to have Jupiter in exalted Cancer for a full year until June 29th of 2026. I have a separate video for you on this transit where I do a much deeper dive and I give you other tips on how to work with these energies. I will link to that video in the description box below. Now, also on June 9th, Venus in Taurus is going to make a square to Pluto retrograde. This is not an easy transit. Venus squaring Pluto can bring up power struggles. You can feel like the rug was pulled out from underneath you. You can feel an obsession or an uncomfortable intensity of passion. Often there's something complicated about a relationship that is going on during a Venus square Pluto transit. If it is activating your chart, all of these transits you will feel only if they are activating a planet or point in your natal astrology chart. And this, of course, I can illuminate for you in a one-on-one astrology consultation. With Venus squaring Pluto, you may get a truth or a realization, and you may feel like something happens, you get a shock, often it's a shock, and you know you can't go back. Trust can be broken. It can be a last straw moment. My advice always with the Pluto transit is to reclaim your power, be honest with yourself about what is going on, what is potentially negotiable and what is not negotiable, and set clear boundaries accordingly. On June 11th, we're going to have a full moon in Sagittarius, which is a mini culmination of the new moon in Gemini that happened on May 26th. Full moons often bring endings. They bring full circle moments. Something can come to fruition or manifestation. Sagittarius being a fire sign ruled by Jupiter. This is fun loving. This is adventurous. This is let's have a party and celebrate. And this full moon is positively aspected, even though there are some other transits going on at the same time that are not as easy. The planets that are speaking to the full moon itself are quite favorable. I will speak much more at length about everything happening during this full moon in a separate video, but just know that it makes a wide harmonious trine to both Mars and Chiron. This is very positive for healing. This is helpful for cutting ties to anything that we're ready to cut ties to. This full moon being in Sagittarius is meant to expand us. We should feel like there is forward movement and momentum. Who will feel the Sagittarius full moon most intensely? It is happening at 20 degrees of Sag. So those of you with planets or points between 16 and 24 degrees of Sagittarius or the other mutable signs of Gemini, Virgo, or Pisces, you will feel this full moon most intensely. But of course, we're all going to feel it wherever we have 20 degrees of Sagittarius in our natal astrology chart. On June 15th, and you could feel this transit between the 11th and the 16th of June, Mars in Leo is going to square Uranus and Taurus. This is another one of those challenging transits that I mentioned in our introduction. It could bring volatility in the financial markets. The good news about Mars squaring Uranus is if we have been stagnant, if we have not taken action where we needed to take action, if we need some freedom, if we need to be liberated from a situation that isn't good for us, Mars square Uranus will help us with that. Don't take any unnecessary risks during this transit, especially operating electrical appliances, cooking, or heavy machinery. Use extra caution. This is an electrical energy and it may have our nervous systems amplified during this time. On the same day, June 15th, Jupiter in Cancer will make a square to Saturn in Aries. What came to me for this transit was curb your enthusiasm, cautious optimism. Saturn in Aries is showing us how we can make our Neptune in Aries dream real. Saturn is showing us what work is going to be involved. Jupiter in Cancer squaring Saturn in Aries could feel a bit like a want, like Jupiter's all excited and wants to create a lovely homecoming meal for its loved one, and then that person says they have to work. But these transits to Saturn and Neptune this month are part of a much bigger period of our lives in which we are dreaming a new dream, a new chapter, a new identity even, and Jupiter could be full of enthusiasm. But sometimes Jupiter in Cancer can overgive. And so my advice for this transit is let yourself go slow, let yourself take baby steps. This transit may be a great day for your favorite takeout comfort food. And the key to remember with all the transits to Saturn and Neptune and Aries is that there is nothing more important than our emotional well-being. I will not let anything get in the way of my emotional peace and calm. On June 17th, Mars is going to leave Leo, where it's been for some time. Remember, Mars was retrograde in Leo and it had to go through its whole post-shadow period as well. Mars will finally leave Leo and enter Virgo. Mars in Virgo is sincere, is diligent, wants to dot the I's and cross the T's, wants to get done what needs to get done and do it very well. Virgo is the archetype of the practical healer. So we are, with Mars and Virgo, attending to the details of life. And this may very well include your daily routine, your health practices, exercise, nutrition, and anything where you have to pay close attention to detail, emails and communication as well. For this transit, I suggest that we all be extra mindful of not being too hard on ourselves, not being too critical of anyone, ourselves, and anyone that we're interacting with. Because we can be super sensitive and so diligent and wanting things to be so right with Mars and Virgo, and we are human after all. Mistakes do happen, so if they do, give yourself compassion, love, and understanding. On June 18th, Jupiter is going to make another square, this time squaring Neptune in Aries. This is a very spiritual transit. Neptune is our dream. It's our vision. It's what we want to bring into fruition, where we're willing to take a risk. We're willing to do something that feels a little scary. And in some way, it's going to change our identity. It's going to change the way we see ourselves, the way others see us. It is a reach for a lot of us. Jupiter squaring Neptune, this could be a lot of enthusiasm, actually. Sometimes Jupiter squares our excess. We feel over the top emotionally. Jupiter in Cancer, our emotions. But Jupiter square Neptune also can be a call to go inward, a reminder that we're not meant to do this manifesting alone, a reminder that we need the support of others. And it may be asking us, are we aligning ourselves with people who do support us? Is our inner circle, our dream team of humans, are they on the same energetic wavelength as us? Are we close enough in our vibrational frequency so that we feel like we can trust those with whom we are sharing our dream? If you get a disappointment or a sense of disillusionment during this transit, it is a call to reconnect with your spirit guides, with your unconditionally loving spirit, to ask for help and answers from the highest source that you know in every cell of your body has your back. I also have separate videos for you on Jupiter in Cancer where I discuss this transit, and a video on Neptune in Aries, and a video on Saturn and Neptune together in Aries, and I will link to those videos in the description box below so you can do a deeper dive. On June 20th, the Sun will leave Gemini and enter the nurturing, highly sensitive water sign of Cancer. Happy birthday to all of you and our Cancer family. Cancer begins the season of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. It begins the season of winter in the Southern Hemisphere. Also, when the sun enters Cancer on the 20th, we're going to have the summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere and the winter solstice in the Southern Hemisphere. This marks the change of the seasons, of course, but it also opens up a portal. The solstice is a portal to receive the light of the divine as we shift into a new chapter of our lives. Especially appropriate now with Neptune and Saturn together in Aries. Cancer is cardinal energy. It's one of the go-getters of the zodiac, meaning that Cancer people, as nurturing and loving as they are also one of the more ambitious signs. And we're all going to be steeped in this Cancer energy for a full month. And remember that we already have Mercury and Jupiter in this sign. Now, once the sun enters Cancer, the next few days afterward, from about June 21st to the 24th even, exact on June 22nd and 23rd, the sun is going to take its turn to make a square to Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So you can see this month, this theme of Saturn and Neptune together in Aries, making a vision or a dream real. You can see how we're all going to be feeling this, especially those of you with planets or points in the early degrees of the cardinal signs. You will feel it most intensely. Now, if you are one of the ones to feel these transits of the sun squaring Saturn and Neptune in Aries, I believe it may bring you to what feels like a crossroads moment, a turning point. And this is why I'm saying that this month is a pivotal month for a lot of people, asking us the question, is this what I really want? Is this hope, dream, vision, what I think is going to bring me fulfillment? Is this truly, in my heart of hearts, what I truly want? Is it aligned with my soul's direction? You could feel like you're on a bridge, walking from where you are now in your life to a future trajectory. You could feel like you're going through a soul initiation. You could feel very motivated to take action. That's what squares do. They make us feel enough tension or pressure that we take a step. Or you could feel like you have to make an important decision, even if it's a hard choice to make. And because Saturn and Neptune are in Aries, this is bold, risk-taking kind of energy. And I am not encouraging anyone to take a risk that feels too scary, too dangerous, too over the top for you. We all have our own comfort level with risk, and it's important to honor our intrinsic soul's wisdom. Our body will always tell us, our body's wisdom will always tell us when something is right for us or when it's not. On June 22nd, Mars in Virgo is going to make a lovely sextile to Jupiter in Cancer. What I love about sextiles is they bring opportunities, they bring solutions, something gets solved, something tangible comes into our reality oftentimes. Again, if this transit is making an aspect to a natal planet or point in your astrology chart, this could be a practical way to move forward. Virgo energy is very practical. This could be you realizing, okay, now I see how, Virgo, I see how I can make this happen, getting clarity on that. Or just feeling like you are mowing through your to-do list and you're getting the things done that have to get taken care of. Now, just one day later on June 24th, we are going to have what many astrologers call the luckiest day of the year. So I love the timing of this, because if those squares from the sun to Saturn and Neptune had you feel a little bit down, well, here comes Jupiter doing its thing that we call a Jupiter Cazimi, the sun conjuncting Jupiter. And this is, if nothing else, this is a feel-good day. It could go further than that. It could bring you a blessing. It could bring you what you would call good fortune. Hopefully, there's something worth celebrating. This day can just fly by, so definitely one to mark on your calendar and make sure you take full advantage of it. On June 25th, we're going to have a new moon in home, family, and emotional security focused Cancer. So during this new moon, we have Mercury, we have the sun, Jupiter, and the moon itself all in Cancer. It's happening at 4 degrees. So those of you who have planets or points between 0 and 8 degrees of Cancer, or the other cardinal signs of Capricorn, Aries, or Libra. You will feel this new moon most intensely, but again, we're all going to feel it wherever we have 4 degrees of Cancer in our natal astrology chart. And because it is conjunct Jupiter, it should be quite lovely. It also makes a sextile to Mars, so it should be energizing and motivating. Sextiles can bring those opportunities, those solutions, tangible blessings. And it's true that this new moon is in orb of squaring Saturn and Neptune. So once again, it brings us to that same question that we may be asking all month, which is this what my heart truly desires? Am I willing to put the work in? What do I need to do to create the solid, sustainable foundation underneath what I'm setting intentions for during this new moon? Now, on June 26th, Mercury will leave the water sign of Cancer and enter fiery Leo. Leo is the strength card in the tarot. Leo is where we bolster our self-esteem. It's the sign of inner child delight. It's romantic. It encourages us to claim our spiritual royalty. We can be quite magnetic during a Mercury in Leo transit. This is definitely a transit to take the stage, if that's what you want to do, to claim your gifts and your talents, your ability to do something really well. When I think of Leo energy, I think of encouraging a child, saying, look at you, you're doing it. Not only are you doing it, but you're doing it with flying colors. So this is a fabulous transit in which all of us can bolster the child within. And it's important to note that Mercury is going to turn retrograde in the sign of Leo on July 17th. So we're going to have Mercury in Leo for quite a long time, all the way until mid-September. And when we're done with all of that, if we've done that inner child love and care and reparenting ourselves, which I do have a separate video for you on, linked in the description box below, if we have done that rewiring of our minds, we should be bursting with new confidence to say yes to our vision or our dream. Now, the same day, June 26th, when Mercury enters Leo, the Sun in Cancer is going to make a sextile to Mars in Virgo. I love this as a boost of energy to take any practical action on anything that you want to get done. And I also love that on June 27th and 28th, we're going to get positive, harmonious energy toward our Saturn, Neptune dream or vision. I say this because Mercury now in Leo is going to trine Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So you could experience this as a positive shift in your thinking, in your mindset, more confidence around what you want to bring into reality. In other words, if your inner voice has been full of doubt, such as, I don't know if I want to do this, it feels too hard, or remember before when I tried that and it didn't work out, if that is the predominant inner voice that you're hearing when you think about taking a risk and doing something new, Mercury in Leo trining Neptune and Saturn in Aries could be more like, I'm really good at this. I can learn as I go. I'm excited about this. I want to do it. This is mine to take on. Or maybe the gods, the goddesses, your own spiritual team is whispering in your ear, yes, do it. You were made for this. And finally, the last transit of the month, June 29th, Mercury is going to oppose Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. What does this mean? If someone tells you, my friend, that you cannot succeed at what your heart wants, or someone tries to pull the rug out from underneath you, maybe they make a nasty feeling power play. I hope this doesn't happen to you, but if anything underneath the surface feels wrong to you, well, then the universe is making it very clear. You will know who is not going to accompany you, who is not being invited to join you as you board that first-class bullet train to your heart and soul's next inspired destination. Okay, my friend, let us do your June horoscopes now. Listen to your rising sign. This is most accurate in terms of the areas of life in which you are most likely to be experiencing the transits that I speak about. Also, watch your sun signs and your moon sign for further intuitive messages and themes. The themes of your sun and moon signs may very well play out for you as well. And we're going to start with Cancer because beautiful Cancer, your season begins this month of June. So happy birthday to all of our Cancer family and friends. I hope you have the most beautiful birthday. Now, Cancer, this is a special Cancer season. Why? Because Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of blessings and good fortune, it only is in your sign once every 12 years. And this is that year. This is the month that begins Jupiter in Cancer. So that in and of itself is a lot to celebrate. Not only this, of course, the sun will be here. That's the definition of your Cancer season, but also Mercury will be here. And we're going to have a new moon. Of course, we always have a new moon in our season. The new moon will be here as well, but that new moon is special because it's going to be conjunct Jupiter. And this just amplifies all of the blessings that you are set to receive. Now, Jupiter also amplifies anything that it touches. So if there's something difficult going on in your life, it could amplify the emotions of that as well. I speak all about this, how we can work with the Jupiter and Cancer transit with the most ease and grace. I give you tips. I give you lots of ways that this transit could play out in my deeper dive Jupiter and Cancer video, which I will link to in the description box below or put up on the screen here as well. Where is Jupiter in Cancer happening, and Mercury in Cancer, and the sun, of course? It's all happening in the first house of you. This is a shift in identity. If not a shift in identity, and when I say identity, I mean the roles that you play, the titles that you have, both in your family and in your professional life. So that could be part of this. Of course, not everyone's going to get a new job or promotion or change from working for someone else to working for themselves. Not everyone's going to do that. Not everyone is going to, get married or get divorced or change their status in their personal life. But that could happen as well. You could have a baby. You could have a new person move into your family, into your home. There's so many different ways that transits to the first house can play out, because the first house really does beam its energy out to all of the houses of our chart. And in particular, we tend to feel first house transits on the angles of our chart, which is our relationship life, our professional life, or our career life, or if you're retired, same thing, how you spend your time. And same with our home life. It can end up reverberating out to any of those areas of our life. But what's important is that this is the season of you. And the first house also is connected to our vitality, our physical health, our, this is a great transit to do a makeover. This is we call it a glow up. If you want to have a glow up, this is the transit to do that for sure. Cancer, do it. If you want to change your wardrobe, anything to do with feeling better in your own skin, changing your wardrobe, whatever you want to do, changing your hair. I mean, it's not just that. Like, some of you may want to exercise more. Some of you may want to do a cleanse. You may want to change the way you eat, your nutrition. It is a time to be very aware of your energy levels and whether they are what you would consider to be optimal. And if not, how might you want to change that up? I love that Venus is moving into Taurus. It's her home sign. What does this mean? It means that Venus loves being in Taurus. And with Venus in Taurus, it's all about the touch and feel of things. It's all about our five senses. It's how do we feel in our bodies, the comforts and the good food, which Cancers are already. I have Cancer moon and rising, by the way. Cancers already are very much in touch with comfort food, right? Cancer, or like anything that makes, I'm a big lover of pastries, and I do love sweets. It's true for all Cancers. Cancers love indulging in food, generally speaking. And keep in mind that with Jupiter here, we with Cancer energy are much more likely to gain weight during a Jupiter in Cancer transit, because it all looks so good and we're more likely to, take more from the buffet and all of that. And then with Venus in Taurus too. Venus in Taurus similarly doesn't want to hold back on the yummy, delicious things in life. So keep that in mind. Now, Venus in Taurus for you will be transiting your 11th house of fulfillment, hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term financial gains, friendships, supporters. If you have any social media platforms and you have followers, that same thing. This is where Venus here can be really lovely for you. We're going to have a full moon in Sagittarius in your 6th house of physical health, daily work, the routines of your life. co-workers. It's the house of overall wellness, pets as well. The full moon is going to be there. So, and that's June 11th. So for those of you who have been working on your health or wellness, you may feel like things are finally going well for you. Like you're finally turning a corner. A full moon can be that sense of a culmination. It can be like I'm a graduation moment, like I've come so far. This is, I'm not in pain anymore if you've been in pain, or I've healed this, whatever it is. If that's not the case, if you're still working on it and you're not feeling like you're where you want to be, then you will likely receive new information or, something that tells you a revelation. We often get revelations on full moons. This is the next thing to try, for example. So either way, it will be a helpful full moon. Jupiter going into Cancer, that's June 9th. We've talked about that. When we have the Cancer new moon on the 25th, that's when you're going to receive the conjunction to that new moon from Jupiter, which I really love. Would be a great new moon to be asking yourself, what does the future that I want look like? New moons are for intention setting. They're planting the seeds, as we say. Now, this is also a turning point month, Cancer, because Neptune and Saturn in Aries make a square to your energy. So when the sun moves into Cancer, it will square Neptune and Saturn. Same when Jupiter moves into Cancer, it will also square Neptune and Saturn. I speak about these transit at length in the first part of this video, so please go back and watch that if you haven't already. I give much more explanation for everyone, but this will likely feel like a crossroads moment for you if you have planets or points in the early degrees of your sign that Saturn and Neptune are activating. It's in your 10th house of career. This is not just career for those of you who don't have a career. It's also retirement or semi-retirement. It is also life purpose expressed. It's how you want to spend your time. It can be any sort of legacy that you're leaving, volunteer work, just how you use your time is the 10th house. It's the most public house. It often is a profession, but it doesn't have to be a profession. What is lighting up your heart? That is the question. So this is a time that you will likely receive clarity, or you could be like, okay, now I see what I have to do to make a change here. If things are shifting, things could be shifting. Neptune can dissolve things. Neptune can take something away to show us what our heart wants more. Often when something gets taken away or we feel disillusioned or we feel like we're not getting back the energy that we're putting in, it's because we're meant to shift or change something up, and you may get clarity, very well get clarity on that this month, Cancer, because you are one of the cardinal signs, and this Neptune and Saturn, that they're not exactly conjunct. That won't be till February of 2026, but they're close enough together that the transits that are being made during this month are activating it. And so we're going to feel it more palpably this month. So what do you want? That's the question. What does your heart want? You will receive the support that you need when you go all in. Saturn says we have to go all in. We have to put both feet in, even if something feels hard or we don't know how we're going to accomplish it. The commitment, Saturn requires our commitment. So, beautiful Cancer, let me now shuffle for you and see what the cards have to say for you. Cancer. Your card is, yes, the unmarked trail revelation. Absolutely. Don't be afraid to take one step at a time, one rock at a time, adding to the structure of what you're building. This is a time that we're all building a solid, sustainable foundation, especially the cardinal signs. That includes you, Cancer. It's a trail you haven't taken before, so give yourself lots of compassion. Ask other people for help. Don't try to do it all by yourself. You can certainly consult with me. I do coaching and astrology consultations, but know that this is a time to know that you are taking a trail that hasn't been taken before, and as such, it's going to be scary. In my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, I talk about what I call exhilarated fear, where we're exhilarated by the possibility of success, but we're also terrified because the ego is terrified at any new unmarked trail. But you can do it, beautiful Cancer. And if you want to claim that you are stepping on the unmarked trail, claim the courage, or that you're receiving the revelation that your heart most needs, let us know in the comments below. Gemini, hello, beautiful Gemini. Gemini, as the month begins, we are still in your birthday season. Happy, happy birthday to all of our beautiful June-born Gemini friends and family. So, Gems, between June 1st and through the 19th, the sun is still in your sign. Now, we are coming off, as the month begins, a new moon in your sign. It happened on May 26th. And so you can look back to that new moon and ask yourself, what happened for me then? What went on for you during that new moon? What intentions did you set? What did you want to bring into fruition? It was a new moon to shift our mental state, to rewire our story, to come up with a new story that is more supportive, that gives us the courage and confidence to follow our dream, to know that we can begin again, that we can start again, because that's what's happening now as we move into, well, very soon, Uranus will move into Gemini. We are starting a fresh new book, a new page. We're opening a new chapter. So I bring this up because 2 weeks later, 2 weeks from that new moon, on June 11th, we're going to have a full moon in Sagittarius, which is a mini culmination of that new moon in Gemini. So it's very important for you, Gemini, to be aware of this full moon that is happening in Sag on the 11th, because it's happening in your 7th house of partnerships. And it could be someone coming into your life that is going to support you in your new dream. Or it could have to do with the state of a relationship. And the 7th house is all committed partnerships, whether they are romantic or involve your business life or their clients or their business partners. It could be a best friendship, anyone whose back you have and who has your back. So notice during that Sag full moon what comes up for you. It is a time for us to release any unhealthy pattern. It's a time to be very honest with ourselves about the state of our partnerships and to take any action. It won't be hard to take action. We're getting really nice aspects to that full moon to take the action that we need to take, but it's also a time that you could manifest, as I said, somebody new coming into your life that's going to be very supportive of your dreams going forward. Now, not only this, beautiful gems, this month, we're going to have Jupiter moving into Cancer, and it will move into your 2nd house of earned income, self-worth, self-esteem, basically manifesting, creating what you know you deserve in your heart of hearts. This is really beautiful because Jupiter in the 2nd house, this is a great transit of Jupiter. Very, very lovely. It's basically more money. Watch my video on Jupiter in Cancer for a deeper dive, but you're very likely to earn more. And some of you could, decide to ask for promotion. You get a raise, you do a side gig, you start your own business. There are a lot of different ways we can have more money coming into our lives, but this is the house of earned income and a really good time to be bolstering your self-esteem, the love for your inner child. Now, we're also going to have a beautiful new moon. It's happening in your 2nd house, and it will be conjunct Jupiter. So very similar to what I just shared in my description of the Jupiter and Cancer transit. The new moon is a time to set those intentions for what you want to manifest and create in your 2nd house of earned income, material possessions. This is feeling secure in things that you have, the things we touch and feel that make us feel more secure in this earthly realm. Saturn and Neptune in Aries, they are transiting in your 11th house of fulfillment. What a beautiful place to have Saturn and Neptune transit. Why do I say this? Because Neptune is the new dream. It's the new vision that we are bringing into reality. Saturn is helping us give form to that, helping us make it real. And it's in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams, fulfillment, friendships. This is also the house of long-term financial gains, also social media platforms where you brand or promote work. Basically, it's the house of support and alliances. Very wonderful place to have Saturn and Neptune. I speak at length about the squares that are going on this month to that in the first part of this video, so I'm not going to repeat that here. But I also want to tell you that Venus is going to move into your 12th house in Taurus. Venus in Taurus will be in your 12th house of mystical experiences. Venus in the 12th house, we can have some wild dreams. They can be lovely dreams. They can be very Venusian, beauty, love, comfort, pleasure. They can be the divine goddess, our inner Aphrodite giving us messages, divine downloads. And then Mars in Virgo is going to happen mid-month in your 4th house. So Mars and Virgo in the 4th house could be you signing a lease. It could be you deciding to move. You could be very much cleaning right now, decluttering. That's perfect for a Mars and Virgo transit, especially in your home, but also family. You could be doing some inner decluttering, emotional decluttering on a relationship with a family member, and it's a really good transit to take any kind of practical action around home and family, even career, because career is opposite the 4th house in your 10th house, and a Mars and Virgo transit can reverberate out to career, life purpose expressed, retirement, and so on. So beautiful, Gem. Let me now shuffle for you. And I forgot to say I have my sun in Gemini. Let me shuffle for you and let us see what the cards have to say for you, beautiful Gem. For June, your card is, yes, I love this card, the Caterpillar, opportunity. What I love about this card is she is giving herself the self-care. It's such a feminine card, is it not? All the pink and the purple, and she's in this garden of flowers, and she's doing the self-care that Jupiter in Cancer wants us to do. Jupiter is leaving your sign, Gemini. Jupiter's been in your sign for a whole year. Have you received blessings from it? People like to say, well, Jupiter in Gemini isn't powerful, it's in its fall. And it's true that it's not in its full power in Gemini, but what I have found with Jupiter in Gemini is that it's been quite protective. And that's what Jupiter in your sign does. It protects you. And it can also bring friendships into your life. It can also bring support into your life. So if you want to leave me a comment about how it's been for you, let me know. But either way, the Caterpillar is saying that, you take exquisite care of yourself and you're going to receive an exquisite opportunity. And if you want to claim your opportunity that the Caterpillar is bringing you, let us know in the comments below. And by the way, Caterpillar is in a transformational process, right? Soon to emerge as the butterfly. And I always think of butterflies, I always think of Gemini energy as connected to butterflies. So Gem, if you want to claim your opportunity, your transformation, the feminine life force in you blooming in June, let us know in the comments below. Taurus, hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, what I love about this month for you, there's a lot of things, but the first thing that jumps out at me is that Venus is entering your sign. You are ruled by Venus, and she is showing up to grace you with her blessings, with her love of beauty, pleasure, comforts, the money that you need, and then some. And not only this, Venus is going to stay in your sign until July 4th. So this is really, really good news. And of course, because Venus is in your sign, that means she's going to be transiting the 1st house of you. So you may very well feel quite beautiful during this transit, quite handsome. I don't want to discriminate, whatever adjective you use. And a really good transit to do any sort of glow up, as we say these days, glow up makeover that you choose to do. I don't ever give recommendations for plastic surgery or any kind of procedures like that, because I need to see your full chart before I do that. And often there are conflicting transits, not always, but often there are. And so I'm very, very careful about giving any kind of recommendation on procedures like that. But Venus is not retrograde. We definitely don't want to do a procedure during a Venus retrograde. Definitely a beautifying transit though, Taurus. Now, Jupiter is going to move into Cancer, which makes a lovely sextile to your energy. Sextiles bring solutions and opportunities, tangible blessings. So lovely because Jupiter will be in Cancer for a full year, and you're going to get the benefits of Jupiter in Cancer this whole time, this whole next year between now and the end of next June 2026. And where it's transiting, where you're getting this sort of amplification of blessings, is your third house. I call the third house the house of moving and shaking. It is connected to freelance work, websites, socializing, your local area, the things that you do on a daily basis, the places that you go, the people that you meet, the money that you make. That is the third house. So it's quite lovely to have Jupiter in Cancer here. Also, if you want a new car, you want to take more short trips, you want to explore more of your, your local area, like 3-day road trips, that kind of thing. It's really great for that. Also, you want to get a new device. All of these things are covered in the third house. Communication, teaching, speaking, publishing is in the ninth house across from the third house. So it could be wonderful for that too, depending on the planets and points in your chart and when they are being transited. We are going to have a full moon in Sagittarius, dear Taurus, in your 8th house of power and control, assets, shared resources, time, money, and energy. You may very well receive some sort of clarity. You may do some emotional release work around this full moon. This full moon is a mini culmination of the Gemini new moon that we had at the end of May on May 26th. So you can look back to that new moon and think about what you wanted to manifest during that time. But this is, of course, a manifestational cycle coming to a close, which can be something coming to fruition or it can be an ending. Because it's the 8th house, this house can bring in new partners, it can bring in clients, it can bring in money, it can bring in, it can also be a time, because it's a full moon, release and endings, it can be a time when you're splitting up your assets, when you're doing sort of the final paperwork in a divorce where you are, coming to some sort of agreement or contractual, like the end of a lawsuit. That could be happening as well. But it is Sagittarius energy, which is saying, make sure you celebrate whatever is happening for you. Make sure you celebrate. If you're in a power struggle and you need help, maybe get counseling, this is the time. We are in a time right now when it's very, very important, especially with the other transits that I go through in part 1 of this video, the more difficult ones. This is the time when it comes to power and control with other people, especially it is the time to bring closure to any of those difficult relationships. This is the month for that, no question. Now, Cancer season and the Cancer new moon are, of course, they're happening in your 3rd house. Like I mentioned, Jupiter, it's all happening in your 3rd house. There's a new beginning that wants to happen for you here. That new moon in Cancer is going to be conjunct Jupiter, and it is happening in this house of your own, doing your own thing, your own freelance work, again, speaking, teaching, all the things that I mentioned when I mentioned Jupiter. A really beautiful new beginning. This is this new moon on the 25th is a time to set intentions for what you want to manifest with this. Really, with this Jupiter cycle, I would be thinking about that because that's where the new moon is in Cancer. Taurus, Mars and Virgo. Mars and Virgo makes a trine to your energy. Another lovely aspect. You're getting like beautiful aspect after beautiful aspect. Mars and Virgo is going to be transiting your 5th house of love, romance, creative projects, your inner muse, dating, children. If you want to get pregnant, this is a beautiful transit for getting pregnant. If you want to put the finishing touches on a creative project, Mars and Virgo is so good for that. Anything that needs our, attention to detail, so good for the 5th house. Or just getting out in the fresh air more, doing more exercise outdoors, whatever it takes, more art. If you miss doing art, if you miss creating crafts, whatever you do, Taurus, take advantage of the trine. And on June 26th, Mercury entering Leo, it will transit your 4th house, and you're going to be motivated because will square your energy, and squares our tension and pressure. They motivate us to take action. They get us moving in your 4th house. What is coming up for you this month that wants to get you moving in your house of home, family, childhood conditioning? It could be inner child work. It could be Someone in your home or family needs you. It could be someone moving out of your home. It could be someone moving into your home. You could be getting a roommate. I mean, there's so many different ways that this could be showing up for you. But really what this transit is saying is take the action that you need to take. And because it's your fourth house, it can reverberate out to the 10th house of career or life purpose expressed or retirement. So it can show up in that area as well, Taurus. So let me pull a card for you now for your month of June, and let us see what the cards have to say for you, Taurus. Overall, you're getting so many lovely transits, and with Venus in your sign and Jupiter in Cancer sextiling you and the new moon, I think this is going to be quite a lovely month for you. Let's see what the cards have to say. Taurus, your card is time to move out of stagnation. Okay, so this card will only be for some of you, but it is showing the dust devil. What I think this is saying is that some of you have been in a time that's felt stagnant. Some of you have felt like the dust devil is like the inner gremlin or the inner tornado that's happening. I do see that because we have Mars squaring Uranus and Uranus is in Taurus, because we have some there's a trans Venus squaring Pluto. That's happening too. Venus in your sign squaring Pluto. So there are some what we might call crunchy or difficult transits that are happening in the fixed signs, and because you're a fixed sign, you may feel those. And that could be what this card is speaking to. And Uranus transits, you know it well, Taurus, because we're almost at the end. We're at the very end degrees of Uranus. Uranus is moving into Gemini next month. You know it well what Uranus energy feels like. It does get us out of stagnation. So if any of you need a push from the universe to change something up, to course correct, you will get that from the transits that I mentioned in the first part of this video, only if it's what you need for a new lease on your life. Beautiful Taurus. If anything I shared with you in this forecast resonates, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Aries. Hello, beautiful Aries. Aries. This is going to be a turning point month for you. It's going to be a pivotal month. It is a time to make your new identity real, whatever that new identity is. Of course, you are no stranger to this concept of the I am. This is your first house. It's everyone's first house, the I am, but Aries, because it's your sign, you must be feeling, at least those of you with planets or points in the early degrees of your sign, are most likely feeling some sort of drive, motivation, could be tension or pressure. It could be restlessness to begin again. Something could be leaving your life. Neptune can play out that way. Something could be dissolving. Something could be showing up as the way I've been doing this isn't working anymore. I've got to change it up. It can play out a lot of different ways, but a new identity is being birthed for you. Keep in mind that the first 3 weeks of this month through the 19th of the month, the sun will still be in Gemini. It will be harmonizing with your energy, offering you opportunities and solutions. It's a sextile and you're getting this. It can show up as a tangible reward that you get before Jupiter leaves Gemini as well. The sun and Jupiter, before they leave Gemini, you could receive some sort of tangible blessing for sure. Come June 20th, when the sun enters Cancer, it will enter your fourth house. And in your fourth house, this is where Mercury, the sun, and Jupiter will all be. It squares your energy. What do squares do? They energize us. They motivate us. You will feel this energy, this motivation, most likely in your fourth house of home, family, your roots, your sense of your desire to belong. We all have that core need to belong. Or Aries, you could feel it in a home or family matter. Could be remodeling your home, moving, any of those things, wanting to make your home more of a sanctuary, or you could feel it in your career. You could feel it in any of these areas. The transits happening in your fourth house, but again, transits to the fourth house often activate planets in our 10th house of career as well. So This is a big theme for you this month. Home, family, childhood conditioning, ancestral healing for some of you, healing the mother line, healing your relationship with your mother, or celebrating your relationship with your mother, really feeling like you're getting closer to, if not your mother, a nurturing figure in your life. Nurturing figures don't have to be just females. They can be obviously any gender. But we're also going to have a new moon here in Cancer. And that's also, of course, happening in your fourth house. So there's a lot of energy that's getting funneled to your fourth house. A really good time to set intentions to create the inner home, the sense of inner security, putting your roots deep down into Mother Earth to receive that deep nurturing that we all need. Beautiful Aries. Now, we're also going to have a full moon in Sagittarius. That'll happen before the new moon. The full moon in Sag is going to be on June 11th. Full moon is later in the month. Of course, I'll do separate videos for both of these lunations, like I always do with all of the dates and all of that. And I give all the dates in the first part of this video. The full moon in Sag will happen in your 9th house of expansion. And so if you decide, or if maybe you already have, but this could have happened for you as of the Gemini new moon, which is going to start playing out with this full moon. You can look back to May 26th for that Gemini new moon and think about what you set for intentions then. The full moon in Sag in your 9th house could have you doing some long distance travel or some sort of learning program, graduating from a learning program, writing something, publishing something, saying goodbye to a religion, changing a philosophy, shifting a belief. It's a desire to expand, new scenery, a new lease on life. This is what we want during a 9th house transit often. We want to see ourselves or our life with new eyes. So that's really beautiful for you, that full moon. Time to celebrate, a time to celebrate how far you've come, how much you've expanded, Aries. On June 26th, Mercury is going to enter Leo, and that's happening, that Mercury transit in Leo is happening in your 5th house of creativity, children, true love and romance, the inner child muse, the muse that lights you up, the muse that gets you going. This is a transit to really allow yourself to be inspired. If you're not feeling inspired right now, Aries, I know you run on inspiration. You need inspiration to feel alive. You really do, Aries. So interesting to note that Mercury is going to turn retrograde in July in Leo. So you're going to have Mercury going back and forth over the same degrees and I will talk more about this in July, in your 5th house. And whenever we have a Mercury transit in a specific house, it's the themes of that house that we are meant to reflect on. We're meant to, go back over, review all the things that we talk about with retrogrades. So it could be reviewing a relationship that falls in the 5th house, that's more like a relationship with a lover or a child, or that isn't like a serious committed partnership. Or it could be reviewing, how you do your creative life. You could be reigniting a creative project, but if that isn't going to be the review part so much in June, more in July. So let us see now, Aries, what the cards have to say. And before I do that, I want to say one more thing, which is that because Saturn and Neptune are in your 1st house, and this month they're going to be squared by the sun and squared by Jupiter in Cancer, and those squares are coming from the 4th house of home, family, your roots. It could be that things are coming up for you this month, choices, decisions that have to do with, it could feel like there is some inner conflict between what you really want for you and what your responsibilities are, or what others expect of you in the realm of home and family, which is why I say this is a turning point month, a pivotal month for all the cardinal signs, and especially for you, Aries. Okay, Aries, so let's pull a card for you now. Get support if you need support in making a decision. That is how we get through these challenging times, right? Not to say this is going to be a difficult month, but it may be a month where you do feel that you're at a crossroads. It could be a month where you feel like you're going through a soul initiation as a result of taking a path, the road less traveled. Okay, Aries. You're no stranger to risk taking. You're good at it, but these squares mean that a lot of us are making tough choices. And now I'm going to turn over your card and we'll see what it is. And your card is, yes, limitless possibilities, stars in the sky. Check it out. I love this card. Here is this person on the bridge. They're going from where they are now to where they want to be. They're sitting in the center of the bridge. They are connecting with the divine, filling themselves with white light. They are becoming aware through the spiritual practice that they're doing. By receiving divine light, they're becoming aware that they are a spirit of limitless possibility, that the world is your oyster, that you have many, many options, many, many choices. Beautiful Aries, if you want to claim your limitless possibility, let us know in the comments below. You will inspire all of us. Pisces, hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces. Your month of June has many, many harmonious transits going on, which is really good news. Now, the first piece of good news is that all the conference of planets that were weighing heavily on Pisces people, they have all left your sign. Everything has left your sign, the planets, except the North Node. The North Node of Destiny, your North Star, is still in your sign, which is quite lovely because it points you to your true north when you are confused. Everything else has left your sign. So a lot of that energy that was exhausting you, that was making you need more rest, or that was confusing you, some of you, or that it just felt overwhelming emotionally, Saturn and Neptune have moved on. Yes, they are going to come back. Yes, they are. They will be back. But for the next few months at least, Saturn will be out of your sign, and that is great news. And Venus and Neptune will be out of your sign for even longer, until October 22nd, I believe, before it moves back into your sign. So that's the first piece of good news. The second piece of good news is that Venus is entering Taurus, which is its home sign. It does really well in Taurus, and it harmonizes with you as well. It sextiles you, which is an opportunity, a solution, or a tangible reward, a tangible blessing, something really nice coming into your life that you can touch and feel. Taurus energy. And this is happening in your third house. So get out and socialize, beautiful Pisces. If you want to socialize, I know that, in Pisces energy, we can be hermits. I get that. I have a lot of Pisces energy in my chart as well. We do need time to ourselves to recharge. Absolutely, for sure. It's hard because we soak up a lot of energy in Pisces, other people's energy in Pisces. But this is also the house of all of your interactions. So just the things that you do on a regular basis, like if you go out and shop for groceries, I know some people have their groceries delivered these days, but if you go out and do things and you do see people, then you're going to feel that Venusian energy. People will probably be more kind and more sweet to you. And also it's just great for any kind of beautifying that you want to do, and just feeling like your relationships with others that you see on a regular basis are in really nice flow. Really nice for anything that you do in your local environment. Really nice for networking, for your own freelance work. If you have your own business, you could bring in more money through this transit. It's not the house of money per se, but it is the house of moving and shaking and transactions. It's mercurial, and it is where you're going to have more flow here, and Venus does rule money. Jupiter is going to move into Cancer, and that I have a whole video for you on this. Pisces, it trines your energy. What a beautiful, beautiful, harmonious aspect it makes to you. Jupiter will transit your fifth house. I love the fifth house: children, creativity, true love, and romance. With Jupiter transiting your fifth house, you are more likely to receive tangible blessings from however you invest your time creatively with kids, playing with kids, or whether they're your own or someone else's kids. True love and romance can really thrive. Yes, if you want to meet somebody, yes. If you want to deepen a relationship with someone that is romantic, you're romantic with, very, very lovely for that as well. I love Venus transiting the fifth house. It's just, the fifth house is how we use our energy to bring joy into our lives. And so more joy, more fun, more pleasure, more zest for life, more joie de vivre, more spontaneous moments of pure delight. Yes to that. Yes to that. That's what you're getting with Jupiter and Cancer here. And not only this, Mercury is going to be here too as well. So more conversations with people that bring you joy and delight. And then on top of it, so will the sun. And also, we're going to have the new moon in Cancer. All of this is happening in your 5th house. So set intentions during that new moon for what you want to experience, because you're getting a beautiful trine from all of it. All the Cancer energy is trining you, and trines are just blessings falling into your lap. They're not, sextiles are wonderful too, but we have to do something to make a sextile deliver something to us. We don't have to with a trine. A trine is just, you know, you're out sailing on the ocean and the wind picks up and carries you forward. That's a trine. So before the new moon in Cancer, we are going to have a full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th of June. And that's happening in your 10th house of career. For that full moon, you do get a square to your energy. What does that mean? It means that you're probably taking action in career. There is some tension, pressure, or motivation to act, to do something. Squares do get us moving. It's not just career, it's life purpose expressed for some of you. It's your legacy, it's retirement or semi-retirement. And a full moon is an ending or something coming to fruition. A full moon can be a full circle moment. It can be a realization, an epiphany. But the full moon is lighting up this area of your life, beautiful Pisces, saying, what action do you want to take here? How can we get closer to what you love? And this full moon in Sag, it's celebratory for sure, that Sagittarius energy. But it can also be that you've realized something that you didn't realize before that changes your mind about career or home and family, because it funnels its energy down to your house of home and family as well. Finally, Pisces, Mars is going to be in your opposite sign of Virgo this month. Not the whole month, but I believe it's mid-month. Again, the dates are all in the first part of this video. What does this mean? Mars will be transiting your 7th house. When Mars transits a house, sometimes that means there's more conflict. I have to say that. But other times we're just more motivated. Like someone could be pursuing you with Mars in the 7th house. You could be pursuing someone. And remember, this is not just romance. It's also business for some of us, best friends. It can be very professional what's going on in your 7th house. It doesn't have to be just like a spouse or a significant other. So the key though is there's motivation here. There's motivation on your part. There's motivation on someone else's part. Or you could be feeling like you're in conflict with someone. If that's happening, it's a great transit to seek counseling, because Virgo energy is sincere. It's devoted. It wants to purify. It wants to detox. All of those can be really helpful during a Mars transit. So Pisces, let me now pull a card for you. You might streamline something. You might fine-tune something. Or you might bring more people into your life that are going to help you to be successful, whatever you're focusing on success-wise. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Pisces. Your card is the right use of power. This is a really interesting card. The first thing I notice about the card is all of the gold, and it tells me that you want something of lasting quality and something that is going to bring you abundance. There's definitely abundance in this card, but it's also saying that someone else could be trying to play a game with you, or you could find yourself in a game that's uncomfortable for you. And so that's why it's saying the right use of power. There are a couple of transits going on this month that I speak about in part 1 of this video that do involve power, potentially power struggles. So some of you, that could pertain to some of you. But when I see this crown and I see these hands up here, I see a call to move back out of your head and back into your body's wisdom. We all have a natural spiritual royalty. We all have the ability to wear the crown and to receive the abundance that we so deserve. But to do so, we want to be in our body's wisdom and using our power in a way that is honoring of all. And Pisces, you are gifted with the right use of compassion. You are gifted with the ability to forgive. You are gifted with the ability to set boundaries where you know you need to set boundaries. And that may be part of this for you as well. Big picture, you are on the road to shining and sparkling abundance. Beautiful Pisces, if you want to claim your abundance, if you want to claim your right use of power, or anything else that resonates with you, let us know in the comments below. Aquarius, Aquarius, beautiful Aquarius. Your June horoscope begins with the first 3 weeks of June, from June 1st through the 19th, with the sun still in Gemini in your 5th house, and Gemini trines your energy. It is the wind at your back. It's the wind filling up your sails. And what a beautiful place to have the sun in your 5th house of children, creative projects, anything that you want to bring out into the world, or just having fun on your own, making things with your hands, or whatever you do for your own creativity. I think I said children, also true love and romance. What a beautiful place to have the sun shining. It's basically saying yes, yes, yes to all of these things. Also fun, pleasure, freedom, adventure. Do it, Aquarius, do it. Enjoy yourself. This is the time to really enjoy yourself and socialize and have fun with people you love. Now, on June 6th, while this is happening, Venus is going to shift signs. Venus is going to move into Taurus, and when she does, she's going to be in your 4th house of home, family, childhood conditioning, the house of ancestral healing, healing the mother line. It's a square that you get from this energy. What does this mean? It means that there's some sort of movement that wants to happen, some action that you are going to want to take. Obviously, this plays out so differently for everyone. This can be someone leaving your son, like a child coming back from college to come back into your home. It could be, somebody moving in or out. It could be you changing your home in some way, you moving to a new home, you deciding you want to move. It is Venus. It is a square, but it's also Venus. So that's really interesting, because Venus usually bestows comfort, beauty, pleasure, all of these things, but it squares your energy. So this could mean that there's some discomfort, or there's some inner conflict when it comes to the beauty that wants to grace you. Beauty is coming into your life, or it can be money too. You could be getting more money, but sometimes that square means there's inner conflict, or you feel like you don't have enough time to make the decision that you have to make, or you're somehow torn. You could feel somehow torn between, something, an obligation or a desire having to do with a family member or your home, and what you want to do for you. It could be that as well, Aquarius. Now, Saturn and Neptune are transiting in Aries in your 3rd house. Saturn and Neptune in Aries here are saying, what do you want in terms of communication, mindset, your local environment? Saturn and Neptune are spurring all of us on to create a new dream, to have a new vision. But there's work involved. We're putting form to it. And this is going to be a long process for some of us. So we're just at the very beginning stages of this. You get a lovely sextile. That's an opportunity, a solution, something that you have to take action on. But once you do, you get the reward of it. And for some of you, this could be freelance work. It could be taking a course. It's the house of learning, growth, writing. Or it's your local neighborhood and environment. It could be that you're starting to take yoga. It could be that you're starting to work out at a gym. It can be that you are, creating your own yoga studio, or creating your own business that is drawing in local clients. Something could be changing in communication. You could want to write a book or start a blog. There's something, some of you are signing a lease. There's something that is meant to be birthed here in this 3rd house of communication, mindset, local environment, and your own business. It's the house of buying and selling. So it can involve cars and devices as well, short trips also. Jupiter in Cancer. What a lovely, lovely transit that we're all going to have with Jupiter entering Cancer, the sign of nurturing. I do have a separate video for you on this that is linked in the description box below for a deeper dive. But Jupiter is saying to you, it's going to land in your 6th house. What does this mean? It's your house of daily work, wellness, habits, routines, exercise, nutrition, all of that. And Jupiter in Cancer in your 6th house is saying, do you feel emotionally supported at work? Are you giving yourself what you need to feel emotionally rooted in your physical body? Are you basically, I think when I think of emotional security in our bodies, I think of breath work. I think of the, tapping on our fears. I think of releasing fear, releasing anger, all the things that can come up when we are in this human experience. Also, Aquarius, Cancer does square the Saturn and Neptune energy that you're having in your 3rd house. So you could feel like there is some sort of a decision that you have to make, a crossroads that you're at that has to do with your work or your vision that you want to bring forward in your 3rd house that I spoke about a little bit earlier. How is that informing you taking care of yourself? You're taking care of your body, your daily work, your work habits, or relationships with coworkers, for example, or your job. For example, some of you could want to start your own business, but you have a job and you want to keep the income from your job and you're not sure how you can do it all. That could play out in that way. Now, we have a full moon in Sagittarius. It's happening in your 11th house. It makes a lovely sextile to you. It Sag's fire to your air. Beautiful, beautiful harmony, synergy that's going to happen between your energy and this full moon. And it's in your 11th house of fulfillment. So beautiful, beautiful full moon for you. It is most likely going to bring you some sort of opportunity. It's supportive of long-term financial gains, social media platforms, audiences, followers, or friendships, and also community and tribe, which I know is very, very important to you, Aquarius. If you're promoting your own business, if you're doing any sort of branding, if you are expanding a platform such as doing YouTube videos or anything like that, or you want to do some long distance travel, you want to begin exploring the world, this full moon is saying it's time now to say yes to that. You may get a revelation around this. You may feel more free around this time. You may be celebrating that you're about to embark on something that is quite exciting. Or it could be a time that you launch something and that you tell the world about it. Now, the new moon in Cancer, and Cancer season in general, and the new moon and Jupiter in Cancer, this is all happening in your 6th house. So I talked about this already, about the Jupiter moving into your 6th house. Oh, by the way, Aquarius, very important to remember that when we have Jupiter transiting our 6th house, we can really put on weight. So if you don't want to do that, just keep that in mind. This new moon in Cancer on the 25th is encouraging you to set intentions around what do you want your daily life to look and feel like, your work life, your physical health, your wellness, all around. What does optimal health and wellness look like for you? This is a time to set intentions for that. You are meant to up-level your life in this 6th house area, and this can include pets as well and their well-being. Getting a new pet maybe for some of you. And then finally, Aquarius, on June 26th, Mercury will enter Leo. It will be transiting your 7th house of partnerships. It will trine the Saturn and Neptune energy, and this should bring you clarity. You may get good news. You may receive an opportunity. This could have to do with a new endeavor, a new website for some of you, because that Saturn-Neptune dream that you are wanting to make real, that's 3rd house, and that does involve websites. I forgot to say that earlier. So any kind of support that you need for a business would fall here and is going to be very well favored by the Mercury in Leo transit. Mercury in Leo will retrograde in July. I'll talk more about that in my next video, but keep that in mind. Whatever you start with this Mercury in Leo transit beginning at the end of the month, that may shift. That's true for all of us. So let us see now what the cards have to say. But with Mercury entering Leo in your 7th house of partnerships, whether they're romantic or their business or their clients, There will be a lot of activity for you starting June 26th, most likely, Aquarius, in your 7th house. Okay. And this could be a positive shift in your mindset as well. Aquarius, Aquarius. Let's pull your card. Your card is, rising above the fray, the eyes of the eagle. There is so much wisdom in this eagle eye, right? This card is saying, fly above any situation that happens this month that is uncomfortable. Because we have some difficult transits in the fixed sign energies, you may feel it because you're a fixed sign. And we are going to have Venus squaring Pluto retrograde. We are going to have Mars making a difficult aspect to Uranus. And that's all in the fixed signs. So I think that's what this card is referring to. If there are power struggles, if there's anything dark or deceptive going on underneath the surface of any of your interactions, rise above the fray, be the wise one that the eagle is, reclaim your power, set the boundaries you need to set. It's all energy that is leaving and washing away, as I speak about in part 1 of this video. And if you want to claim that you have the eyes of the eagle, you have the wisdom to move through anything beautiful, Aquarius, let us know in the comments below. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, your month of June is going to be powerful. You are one of the ones that may find yourself at a crossroads or a turning point. Why do I say this? Well, it's going to be pivotal for you, most likely, in your house of relationships. Blessings coming through relationships, important partners, business or professional or romance or significant others in your life. And I say this because the Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter will all enter the sign of Cancer, which is your opposing sign. It is the sign that rules your house of partnerships. When I say partnerships, I mean anyone who has your back and whose back you have, and this, yes, can include clients as well. We are going to have a new moon here, a time to set intentions. That will happen towards the end of the month. All the dates for all the transits I mentioned are in the first part of this video. But Cancer and your Capricorn energy are going to make squares to the Saturn and Neptune energy, which is now happening in your 4th house of home, family, roots, and belonging. So the question is, it's a very big question for you, Capricorn. The question is, especially this month, now that we're in Cancer season and Cancer squares your energy, and all squares mean is that we are at a choice point. We are at a crossroads. We are at a point where we could feel some tension and pressure. Sometimes we feel inner conflicts, right? Sometimes we feel that, we have to make some sort of pivot. The Neptune and Saturn energy, where you are something's being birthed here for you in Aries, new beginnings, fresh starts, a new life chapter. Neptune is the dream, Saturn is helping us make it real. Or it's showing us what isn't working in our lives. So could be within a family member, could be someone that you are close to or who lives with you, something in their life is not working, has to be changed up. Or it could be in your career, because when we have a transit to our 4th house, that energy gets beamed out to any planets or points in our 10th house. So you could feel it in either house on the 4th and 10th house axis. Now, Venus will be in Taurus, transiting your 5th house. I love this because Venus in Taurus, it is the quintessential money, love, beauty, pleasure. Venus in Taurus is the goddess. She gets massages. Obviously these are just examples, but the idea with Venus in Taurus is that we love the lusciousness of life. It's our 5 senses. It's taking care of our bodies. It is, the scents, and is the food that we eat, and just everything it's about savoring your life. You are getting a gorgeous transit to your 5th house that is saying savor your life. Savor your relationships with children. Take care of your inner child. Give your inner child what would delight him or her. Bring more fun and pleasure into your life. Romance your own soul. I speak about that in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes. I give you ideas to how to romance your own soul. Romance the people in your life. Romance doesn't have to be making love, right? Romance can be just creating a beautiful table or choosing the foods you want or having a picnic. There's so many different ways. You notice I use a lot of food metaphors. That's my Cancer energy. Okay, so you get the idea though. This is about bringing a lot of whatever brings you joy and happiness and physical pleasure and beauty into your life this month. We are going to have a full moon in Sagittarius, a fiery full moon in your 12th house of your mystical life, your dreams, spiritual awakening for some of you, astral travel, yes, out-of-body experiences, or this can be a rewiring of your subconscious mind. This can be a new story that you have about yourself and your life after all the 12th house. It's our past lives. It's karmic relationships. So sometimes, you know, we meet people that come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? That are teaching us, where we're learning and growing, and those can be what we call karmic. A full moon here may have you shedding a skin. It may have you shedding a belief about yourself. It may have you awakening to something that you weren't awake to before on a spiritual level. Mercury is going to enter Leo on June 26th, and that's going to trine Saturn and Neptune, bringing clarity. And where this action is happening for you is in your 4th house. That's where Saturn and Neptune are transiting, your 4th house, as I spoke about earlier. And so you could feel this Mercury trine to Saturn and Neptune that's giving added wind to our sails around our dream. You could feel this on that axis of home, family, and career. And if you don't have a career, it can be how you want to spend your time. If you want to retire, if you want to do something that expresses more of your life purpose, that brings more meaning and fulfillment into your life, that's the 10th house as well. So beautiful Capricorn, let me pull a card for you and let us see what the cards have to say for you. I think this is going to be a month that feels quite energizing to you. And maybe one in which you feel like you get some traction, you make some strides. After all that Cancer energy in your 7th house, I would be surprised if new people or a new person doesn't come into your life, again, to help you in some way. Could even be a benefactor. Yeah, definitely a benefactor with Jupiter in Cancer. And I do have a separate video for you on Jupiter in Cancer. Okay, let us see now what the cards have to say for you, Capricorn. Capricorn. Getting back to integrity. This is the card of the compass. This is your true north. Now, it does say lost compass, and it's referring to the fact that you haven't known exactly where your true north is, some of you. And this could go all the way back to when you felt lost if you don't feel lost now, or it could be present time if you are feeling somewhat lost. You are in a turning point time, many of you. There's no way you can't be at a turning point when you have strong cardinal energy in your chart, and we have Saturn and Neptune in Aries saying, what's the new dream? Now, if all of your planets and points in cardinal energy are in the very high degrees, you may not be feeling this strongly yet. But if they're in the lower degrees, anything in cardinal energy in your chart, then you would probably be feeling some sense of, what's mine? What does back to integrity mean? To me, it means getting back into wholeness, getting back into a sense of what your soul wants for you, what you want, where your soul is guiding you, the path that your soul is taking you on, your compass. We have to get lost in order to be found, right, Capricorn? We have to veer off and feel what happens when we get lost is we invariably talk to the divine. That's when we talk to the divine, when we feel lost. That's when we get the message from our soul that says, try this, do this, make this call. How about this? If you feel lost and you don't have my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, I highly encourage you to check it out on Amazon, because that is a book in which I help you to go from where you are now to where you want to be. But in any case, beautiful Capricorn, You are about to find the path that you are meant to go on very soon. You can also download my free meditation that helps you connect to your inner guidance. And I have meditations for you in a playlist that are linked in the description box below as well. Beautiful Capricorn, if you want to claim that you have found your true north, that you have reclaimed your integrity, let us know in the comments below. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius, beautiful Sag. Oh my goodness. We have your full moon this month, but before I get there, I want to say I think this is going to be a tremendously empowering month for you. The month begins with the Sun and Mercury still in Gemini, which means they are transiting your 7th house of partnerships. Usually when the Sun transits our 7th house, there is delight there. There is love there. There is not necessarily the love of your life. It's not necessarily that your current relationship, if you're in one, is being, infused with, all this passion, but it does mean that it feels like there's some brightness there. There's some light there. And I hope that that is true for you. That's going to be the first few weeks of the month through the 19th. On June 11th, that's when we're getting the full moon in your sign. This will be in the first house of you. A full moon in the first house of you brings something to culmination, completion, ending sometimes, or we get a revelation, we get a manifestation, something comes to full fruition. This could be a realization that an old identity that you've had is no longer appropriate for you. You could let go of a job. You could graduate from some sort of a learning program. You could end a relationship. You could commit to a relationship. You could, make any kind of decision that feels powerful or empowering, having to do with relationships or roles that you play, or your vitality or your physical appearance. Any of those things, they all fall within the first house. The first house is really about how do I see myself and how do I want others to see you? And a full moon here is saying, okay, we've completed a manifestational cycle. What has changed for you since 6 months ago when we had the new moon in your sign? That is what this full moon is shining a light on for you. Your ruler, Sag, Jupiter, your ruler, is moving into a new sign. This is also a big deal. Why? Because it's your ruler and it's moving into Cancer, which is considered exalted. Where is this happening? In your 8th house of power. What I love about a Jupiter 8th house transit is that it is the house of shared resources, time, money, and energy. It's where we can get blessings from other people that can be in the way of an inheritance, a piece of real estate, seeing the returns on our investments, growing a nest egg, receiving some sort of something from a benefactor. You get to pay off a loan. You relinquish, a debt gets forgiven. Like, there are all these different ways that it can happen, but it is the house of shared resources. So it is a financial house, but it can also be intimacy with others, emotional intimacy, sexual intimacy. Jupiter can blow up anything that's happening. If something is blowing up, if something is expanding and it doesn't feel good, that can happen too, I have to say, but often it's something really beneficial and lovely. It could be a healing, it could be a sexual healing, it could be a healing with a partner. It could be you moving in with someone when you haven't been moving in and sharing time, money, or resources before, but now you're taking things to the next level. Not only will Jupiter be transiting your 8th house, but so will we have the Sun here and a new moon here. So set intentions for what you want to receive from this Jupiter transit and from this new moon in the areas that I just spoke about. Venus will enter Taurus, and that's going to transit Venus will transit your 6th house. The 6th house is your wellness. It's overall optimal health. It's how you eat, your nutrition. It's how you exercise, how you take care of your body, also your daily work, coworkers, pets, and your routines, like your daily work life. What does that feel like to you? Do you have enough flexibility? Do you feel in control of your time? Do you want to change your job in some way if you have a job? Venus in Taurus can bring you improved health. It can bring you improved health or wellness for your pet. It can bring you better relationships with your coworkers. When Venus is transiting a house, it can just make all of our interactions with the people that fall within that house more lovely. And for you, that might be colleagues, coworkers, bosses. We've got Mars transiting your 10th house. And also, like, if you work out, you go do yoga, all the people you interact with, really, really lovely for those relationships. Mars is transiting your 10th house of career as it moves into Virgo. And this is also the house of life purpose expressed. This is your legacy. It's retirement or semi-retirement for some of you. Mars transiting your 10th house is a lot of energy to make something happen here. Or it can be that you're working some stuff through with people. You're working through like doing some sort of negotiating. That can be Mars as well. But knowing that both Venus and Mars are transiting your 6th and your 10th house, that tells me that there is a real theme here of work for you. Work, professional life, your lifestyle, the hours that you work, what you do, does it have meaning for you? Are you happy with it? All of those things will come into play with a Venus and Mars transit to your 6th and 10th. Plus Sag, on June 26th, Mercury will also move into a new sign. It's going to move into Leo, which is a fire sign like you, meaning it trines your energy. Trines are the wind at your back. They're things falling into your lap. It's happening in your 9th house of expansion. What does this mean? It means that you could have offers to travel abroad. You could be teaching or publishing something. You could have a real expansion in your mind, a spiritual awakening, an opening, something opening up, more, just adventure and freedom and new scenery for you. And also because Saturn and Neptune are transiting your 5th house of love, romance, children, and creativity, this 9th house transit, trining that 5th house energy, is very supportive of any dream, desire, or goal that you want to make real. So be open to messages from the divine, from your higher self, from your spiritual team, because especially as we get to the end of the month where we've got Mercury starting to transit your 9th house in Leo, you could see a reward, so to speak, something lovely coming in, having to do with those feelings of expansion, those feelings of pleasure and freedom and adventure. Is there an adventure that you want to take? Do you have something planned? Would be a really nice time to take some sort of a trip abroad, anything, or just do a course, graduate from a course, anything that expands your mind, that brings you fun, pleasure, and adventure. Okay, so let me pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say. Beautiful Sag. And you got beloved. The 5th house is love and romance too, which I just spoke about. This card is full of fire. I love this so much. I love this so much because we've got a full moon in your sign that's going to be full of fire. We've got Mercury in Leo that's trining your energy. We have Saturn and Neptune in Aries. You're getting really ignited by a lot of fire, and we can see this in this card. And this is saying if there's anything that you haven't fully accepted yet, this is the time. Accept it all, because you are making choices and decisions, Sag, that are going to have long-term ramifications for your life and consequences, positive or maybe less than positive, depending on what you choose. We can accept the things that we can't change, but we can choose to go after the things that light up our heart. And I believe this is what this card is saying to you. If you are ready to claim your divine connection with the beloved or anything else, let us know in the comments below. Beautiful Sag, I would love to hear. Scorpio. Hello, beautiful Scorpio. Scorpio. Let's talk about your month of June. This is a month that you are receiving a lot of positive flowing energy. The month begins with Venus in Taurus transiting your opposite sign in your 7th house of partnerships. Venus transiting the 7th house can be so lovely. Why? Because it's bringing love, romance. Even if you don't want romance, it's bringing beauty and pleasure and sweetness to your 7th house of partnerships, which would be anyone whose back you have and who you feel has your back, any of those close committed relationships. It doesn't have to be a marriage. It doesn't have to be somebody that you've signed on the dotted line with. It can be an unspoken agreement that you care for each other. So we can put a best friendship here as well. This is a very lovely transit, and it also includes business partnerships, clients, any relationships in which you are receiving that mutual, reciprocal care and commitment, mutual commitment. Now, Scorpio. Another thing I love about this month for you is that we have so much energy in Cancer, and it all trines your energy, and trines are the best aspect we can get. They are the wind at your back. They are things falling in your lap. Jupiter in Cancer will trine your energy, and it will transit your 9th house of expansion. The 9th house is long distance travel. It brings more adventure into your life. It expands your mind. It's a call to get new scenery into your life, whether that's for a road trip or flying somewhere or, reading books that expand you. Basically, this is a transit that says, let's think differently. Let's let go of any preconceived notions or limiting beliefs that don't serve us. Expand your philosophy, or go fun places, do things you haven't done before. This is that transit for you. So Jupiter is going to be here for a full year. And I would be surprised if some of you didn't want to do some long distance travel or even move to another country. I mean, Jupiter already rules long distance travel. It rules the 9th house in Scorpio. Here you have this lovely, lovely transit. It's something to write home about. It really is. Now, the full moon in Sag, happening on June 11th, will be in your 2nd house of earned income. Self-love, aligning your life with your values. You could receive an enlightened moment of what is right in your life and what is no longer good for you, what must go. It could be very freeing for you. This is the house of material security. It's your possessions. It may be a full moon in which you decide to sell something, a full moon in which you decide, that you want to receive more, that you want to value yourself more, that you want to up-level your sense of deserving, that you want more income, or you could be getting some sort of gift of like a promotion or a raise. You could be getting an idea or revelation around starting a side gig or doing something different, your own business, that's going to bring in more money for you. The sun is going to leave your 8th house of power and control, and it's going to enter your 9th house of new horizons. All the things I talked about earlier with Jupiter going into Cancer, when the sun goes into Cancer, and Mercury will be here as well this month, it's all of those apply. So it's a whole month of inspiration for new horizons, new scenery, new adventure. Also, if you teach, you speak, you want to publish something, very good for those as well. Really, really good. Like anything that you want to publish with a Jupiter transit here and the sun here, and we're going to have a Cancer new moon here, this would be the time to publish something for sure, or teach or launch something, especially if it's spiritually oriented. It doesn't have to be, or if you want to start a learning program or you're graduating from one. Basically, the question I have for you is, what do you want your expansion to look like? Because this is the house of expansion, and you're getting this lovely trine. Now, Scorpio, Mars is going to move into the sign of Virgo. This also is harmonious with your energy. It sextiles you, which is an opportunity or a solution, something. It's a gift that you receive, not necessarily a gift, but some sort of tangible blessing, but we have to take some action for it. We have to ask, we have to research, we have to do something to get the ball rolling. Make the call, you get the idea. We do have to take some sort of action. Mars will be transiting Virgo in your 11th house of fulfillment, hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term financial gains. It's the house of, what do I want in this world? The world is my oyster. What am I choosing? It's also supporters, friendships, allies. It's the house of support. And if you want to start any sort of social media platform, then Mars is really energizing you in that direction during this transit. Mars entering Virgo. All the dates of these transits are in part 1 of the video. So Scorpio, you can see why I'm saying this is going to be a lovely month for you, because you're getting so much harmonious energy flow. This is a month of expansion for you. Let us see what the cards have to say. And I should say too, though, for the fixed signs, there are a couple of difficult transits that are happening, and I mentioned those in the first half of this video. There are going to be transits that may be suggesting a course correction for you if you get into any sort of power struggle or you find somebody not being completely honest with you, Scorpio. You can smell the truth or untruth a mile away. You're very good at that. But if that happens for you, then you know what to do. Set clear boundaries and honor yourself. Okay. And watch that part of the video if you haven't already. And now I'm going to pull a card for you. Scorpio. But those are little blips compared to all the good things that are happening for you. And Jupiter will be in Cancer, trining your energy for a full year. Your card is Compassion, the heart home. This card is saying your home is within your heart. And it's also saying that your heart is going to be lit up this month and that you might go through a heart healing. You may help someone else heal their heart. Have compassion for yourself. Have compassion for the other beautiful Scorpio. It's number 9. The 27 reduces to a 9, which is often an ending or a culmination or seeing something and acting on it. Maybe something you didn't see before. That's part of the transits that I was speaking about in part 1 of this video for the fixed signs that are a little bit more difficult. So I would say that this card is calling you home to you, calling you home to your inner child, and supporting you. The divine is supporting you to find a home within your heart. And as you give yourself the compassion that you need, Scorpio, you feel that much more safe and secure in your own skin and your own heart. So if you want to claim your heart home or anything else, let us know in the comments below. Libra, hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, the cardinal signs are at a turning point or crossroads this month of June. It is a powerful month, especially for the cardinal signs because we have Saturn and Neptune together and they are in the cardinal sign of Aries, and we're getting some activation of Saturn and Neptune as I speak about in part 1 of this video. So go back and watch that if you haven't already. It's a very, very much of a turning point month for the cardinal signs. But for you, Saturn and Neptune in Aries are transiting your 7th house of partnerships. So it's really lighting up your 7th house, asking you, what is your dream for partnerships? And if you say, I don't want a partnership, I'm happy doing my own thing, which is usually not what I hear from a Libra. But if you're saying that, then that's fine, all and well. Maybe it's your partnership with the divine. Maybe it's romancing your own soul, which I talk about in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes. But if you are in any sort of a partnership, whether it's business or a significant other in your life, and this doesn't have to be marriage, it doesn't have to be a live-in, someone who lives with us, it can be any kind of a relationship where there's mutual reciprocity, or we want mutual reciprocity, which I know is very, very important to you, Libra. That house, those relationships are being activated this month. And Saturn and Neptune are saying, let's make your ideal real. Let's make it real. So this is a big deal for you this month, this theme of relationships. Also, the sun will be in Gemini the first 3 weeks of the month until the 19th, the 1st to the 19th. And this energy of Gemini harmonizes with you. And Gemini, the sun in Gemini is transiting your 9th house of expansion. So it's really beautiful for anything that expands you, whether it's long distance travel or teaching or learning or, reading spiritual books, freedom, adventure, publishing, anything where you feel like you're getting new scenery, metaphorically or actual scenery. This is very good the first few weeks of the month with the sun here for you. And Jupiter is still here too. Jupiter's still here too. So Jupiter transiting your 9th house, Libra, has been encouraging you to expand. And Jupiter won't be here much longer. Jupiter's moving into Cancer on the 9th, and then it's going to go into your 10th house. So we get a little bit more of Jupiter in the 9th house saying, expand, expand, talk to other people. They are resources for you with Jupiter and Gemini. Now, Venus, your ruler, is moving into Taurus. Taurus is also ruled by Venus. What does this mean? It means that Venus is in her home sign. She shares the love for beauty that you have, Libra, and you are getting Venus transiting your 8th house, which is so lovely. It really is. Why? Because the 8th house is shared resources, money, time, energy. This is where, when we have Venus transiting the 8th house, we get something Venusian often. We get something that feels good. This can be emotional or sexual intimacy. It can be, somebody dropping a gift into your lap, whether it's money or something else that's going to help you. It could just feel like wonderful support from other people. And especially people that you can be making more money, making new clients, any of that. Jupiter is going to move into Cancer. Like I said, that will land in your 10th house of career, life, purpose expressed, legacy, meaning, fulfillment, how you want to spend your time. It is retirement or semi-retirement for some of you. But the question is there a decision or an action that you need to take to feel at peace with how you spend your time? Some of you may want more recognition in your work. Some of you may want to retire. Some of you are at a turning point that you feel is possibly creating an inner conflict. It could be creating a conflict between how you see yourself, your own self-image, with a family member perhaps, or with your desire or your career ambitions or your work ambitions or your ambition to, we don't have to call it an ambition, your desire to do something that aligns with your passion. The sun will be here as well in your 10th house of career. So will the new moon in Cancer. So will Mercury. So this is a lot of energy focused on career. And not only this, but you could feel this square energy, this tension, pressure, motivation to take some sort of action or make a decision. You could feel it in your home or family sector as well, because they are opposite each other. And before we get this new moon in Cancer with all this 10th house career energy, we're going to have a full moon in Sagittarius on June 11th. And this will happen in your 3rd house of mindset and communication, the house of moving and shaking, buying and selling, short distance travel, where we do all of our daily things, our grocery shopping and our working out, classes that we take in our local environment, all of that. It's a social and celebratory full moon. It's very social. It's very good for networking. It's really good for getting the word out about anything that you do, for writing, for working on a website. Some of you there could be culmination to a website. You could be launching a website. You could be launching something here. You could be launching a course, publishing something. Feeling like you've been working out and you're stronger than you were before, feeling like a sense of accomplishment, or feeling like you've improved your communication with someone too. That could be happening as well. It will probably be a busy full moon for you because 3rd house moons, lunations, new and full moons are usually quite busy. When we get to the month's end, Mercury will enter Leo. Libra, that makes a sextile to your energy, the Mercury and Leo energy. And that's happening in your 11th house of fulfillment, friendships, hopes, wishes, and dreams, long-term financial gains. The 11th house is where we feel supported. So Mercury here will probably really increase the pace of your relationship life when it comes to community, when it comes to tribe, any organizations that you belong to, just overall feeling supported, communications with friends. So that's really lovely. And then Mercury will go retrograde in the same house, which I'll talk about in my July video. But just know that if there's anything that you want to promote, if you're doing any sort of branding, if you want to start a YouTube channel or an Instagram where you're going to post videos or anything where you're going to put something out into the world, Mercury here is very supportive of that. Okay, Libra, I've been shuffling for you. Let us see what the cards have to say for you. Libra, your card is Oh, I love this card, and it's so perfect because it's your ruler. Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. This is the card to exhale. This is a heart, the birds, your air energy, Libra. I believe this is a castle out here in the distance. This is a portal. You can see the portal here. As you rest and renew your energy, you're going to receive more light from the divine. You're going to heal your heart, some of you. You're going to come into a sense that all of my needs are met. You're going to feel more abundant. You're going to get your needs met. Beautiful. Libra, if you want to claim your Garden of Venus, number 25, that's a 7. That's connection with the divine. Anything that you want to share, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Virgo. Hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo. This month, much of the energy shifts. Mercury, which is your ruling planet, Jupiter, and the sun will all shift into Cancer. We're also going to have a new moon here. This is beautiful for you because Cancer energy sextiles your energy, and a sextile is harmonious. It brings in solutions, it brings in opportunities, it brings tangible blessings. And where are you getting this new influx of energy? You're getting it in your 11th house of allies, supporters, friendships, the world, opportunities, supporters, a chance to brand or promote your work if that's what you want to do, a chance to find your tribe, to feel more in sync with community or an organization. It is also the house of hopes, wishes, and dreams and long-term financial gains. So what a beautiful place to be getting all of this flowing, harmonious energy, Virgo. Now, I'm going to step back for a moment and tell you that the first 3 weeks of the month, you're going to have the sun still in Gemini in your 10th house of career, life purpose expressed, legacy, retirement, semi-retirement, how you want to spend your time. Because the sun in Gemini makes a square to your energy, you could have felt while Jupiter's been in Gemini for the last year, while the sun has been here ever since the sun entered Gemini, which I believe was May 20th. You can go back to my May video for that date to be exact, but basically, with the sun in Gemini, it's been asking you, is there some action that you have to or want to take, that you feel like you need to take? It could be a decision, it could be a choice that you're making, and it could have to do with your home and family or how you spend your time, career, profession, what brings you meaning and fulfillment, passion. Venus will enter her home sign of Taurus, which makes a beautiful trine to your energy. This is the wind at your back. This is the easiest aspect that we get in astrology. And she's going to be transiting your 9th house of expansion. So Venus in the 9th house is saying, take a trip, expand your mind, get new scenery, say yes to adventure, give yourself the freedom that you need, do something fun. And it's not just fun, the 9th house. The 9th house is like, I'm growing, I'm seeing with new eyes, I'm seeing something from a new perspective. It can be changing your perspective on a belief that you've had. It can be releasing a belief. It can be taking a course. It can be learning astrology, writing something, publishing something, teaching, speaking. You get the idea. Lots of support from Venus for you here. Somebody could invite you to go on a trip with Venus here and finance some of your trip, possibly give you the gift of something like a flight or a place to stay. Jupiter is going to be in Cancer, sextiling you, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, for a full year. And that's in that 11th house of fulfillment and allies and social media platforms. If you want to start a YouTube channel or you want to do anything where you are putting a message out into the world, very, very supportive with Jupiter in your 11th house. Really, really good for expanding any sort of audience or following. The sun will be here as well, your 11th house, so will the new moon. So set your intentions around the new moon time, which is going to be June 25th. Set your intentions for, whatever you're putting out into the world, or if you just want to have better friendships in your life or feel more supported. Before that, we're going to have a full moon in Sagittarius on June 11th, and that's happening in your 4th house of home and family and childhood conditioning, healing the mother line, ancestral healing. Whatever you need to feel rooted, that's the 4th house. Also with the full moon here, it's really on the 4th and 10th house axis, which means that it could involve career for you. It could involve your work in some way. It could involve a desire to have your own business or to do something that brings you more meaning, passion, or fulfillment. You might want to move your home. You might want to move the work that you do. You might want to do something different. You might want to make your home more of a sanctuary, change the tone of your home life, make it feel more peaceful, any of those things, more beautiful. You get the idea. You could get a revelation during this full moon that involves home, family, or that 10th house career, fulfillment, passion area of life for you as well. Mars will enter your sign, Virgo. This is a big deal when Mars enters our sign. When Mars enters our sign, it's transiting our 1st house. It'll be your 1st house of identity transit. This is your appearance, your vitality. It's also the house of you, so it's how you feel about yourself. And it's any roles that you play, the titles that you have in your family, in your professional life. So with Mars here, there's a certain amount of self-protection. That's not the right word. What I mean is you can advocate for yourself usually a lot better. We get more assertive is what I'm trying to say. We get more assertive oftentimes when Mars transits our 1st house. And so if anything comes along, it won't necessarily happen, but if it does come along where you are in conflict with someone or someone is testing your boundaries, you're more likely to set a boundary. It's more likely to be easy. It's easier to set a boundary with Mars transiting your sign. That's what I love about it. What can be tricky about it is that sometimes Mars ruling the physical body and the 1st house being connected to our vitality, sometimes we either our vitality is really increased and that's wonderful, or we feel it's not a Mars retrograde, thankfully. So it's more likely to have a positive manifestation for you. But you might find that you're doing body strengthening, or that you're, just wanting to work out more, you're wanting to exercise more. And if anything happens with your body that is difficult, like a health thing comes up, then you'll have all the motivation, the time, money, resources, etc., to deal with it, because Mars gifts that to us as well. So Mars will bring more desire, more motivation to go after anything that your heart desires as well, Virgo. So that's also really good news. Let's pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say for your month of June. Virgo. So much of these energies are harmonizing with your energy, all the Cancer energy, Mars in your sign. It's a more intense transit, but Mars is on the same page with you. That's a conjunction. That's what you're getting. And then Venus and Taurus trining you. So much of the energy is so in flow with you, Virgo. Really making it a lovely month for you, Virgo. Your card is Sacred Contract, Covenant. So many ways this can be interpreted. What is this bringing up for you, Virgo? Some of you are going to be presented with a contract, with a commitment, with some sort of agreement. This could be a lease. It could be, a marriage proposal. It could be, will you move in with me? It could be you presenting a contract with someone, or it could be you signing an inner covenant with the divine, or you beginning to do automatic writing or journaling with your divine source, which I do talk about at length and give you tips on in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes. There's a sacred contract that wants to happen between the divine and you to bring you more fulfillment and happiness. So if you want to claim that you are sacredly devoted to your own well-being, or that you are signing a contract with the divine. Beautiful, Virgo. Let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Or if you want to be a writer, or you're already a writer and you want to publish something, this is also really beautiful for that as well. Leo. Hello, beautiful Leo. Leo. This month of June could be a month of freedom, liberation, breaking free for you. Why do I say this? Because Mars will leave your sign this month and go into Virgo. But before it does, Mars is going to make a square to Uranus and Taurus in your 10th house of career. That is, Uranus will be in your 10th house of career. And this could bring clarity or revelations or something that breaks you out of stagnation. If you have felt restless or stagnant or off course in career fulfillment, life purpose expressed, retirement or semi-retirement, or legacy. And the 10th house is the place where we are, it's the highest point of our chart. It's where we often put in a lot of work and a lot of time. And who doesn't love to be recognized for what the time and effort and energy they put into something? So this is all part of the mix of that 10th house energy for you. But when Mars in your sign, in your first, transiting your first house of you, really strengthening you to set boundaries and to speak up for yourself and to, deal with conflict if conflict comes up. When it squares Uranus transiting your 10th house, often something breaks free or breaks loose, and that could be you claiming your freedom. Maybe you're saying, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to put something aside. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to, it could affect your relationships as well. It can really affect any areas of your life, including your home and family life as well. So you know what that would be for you, Leo, but I wanted to give you a heads up for that. And the dates for all the transits of the month are in part 1 of this video when I go through each of the transits for the collective. Also this month, when Mars does finally leave your sign, it will leave your first house and it will move into Virgo, your second house, empowering you to make the money that you desire to make, to create the material security for yourself that you know you need. This can be up-leveling your self-love, your sense of deserving, aligning your life with your values as well. The sun, your ruler, is in Gemini for the first 3 weeks, about 3 weeks of June. From the 1st to the 19th, the sun will still be in Gemini, and that means it's in your 11th house of allies, supporters, tribe, communities, friendships, where we want support from others. If you have any sort of social media platform, if you put your work out into the world, such as YouTube or any other platform that you use, then this is also, a desire to receive back what you give, right, Leo? So to receive recognition or the following or the subscribers, all the things that when we put work out that help support us. You get a sextile from Gemini energy. So it's really lovely for you to have the sun in Gemini because it's Gemini's heir to your fire, and you guys, that energy stokes your fire. It stokes your fire. But when Jupiter leaves Gemini after being in Gemini for a full year in your 11th house, where you could have had quite an expansion with Jupiter there of anything that you do, expansion of friendships, expansion of support in whatever way you wanted it, Leo, it's going to leave your 11th house and it's going to move into your 12th house of your inner mystic. Jupiter in the 12th house brings protection. I just had Jupiter transit my 12th house and it brought me spiritual protection. So it's a feeling of even if something doesn't go well, you're covered, you're okay. Your guides have your back. It's really lovely. You also are likely to receive revelations, epiphanies, spiritual awakening, perhaps, a sense of expansion with Jupiter transiting your 12th house. A lot of shifts in perception, waking up to the truth. You're getting this for a whole year. You're not going to be the same person a year from now. If there's anything in your life that feels stuck or stagnant, it will likely get unstuck as Jupiter is transiting your 12th house because it's changing your subconscious mind. It's bringing your subconscious mind into alignment with the truth of who you are now. It's an evolutionary soul growth transit. So you will evolve with Jupiter transiting your 12th house, evolve on the soul level, at the soul level. The sun, Mercury, and the new moon will all be in Cancer in June, and they will also transit, of course, your 12th house, just like Jupiter. So don't be surprised if this month feels a bit quieter to you, if you feel more introspective. Usually with Jupiter transiting our and a new moon in the 12th house, we're more introspective. The 12th house is the house of let me be in my own energy. It's often where we want solitude, maybe more rest, maybe more time reading, watching, movies or videos on near-death experiences, or, getting more in touch with past lives, or doing soul retrieval, or getting an astrology reading. It's the 12th house is the place of self-discovery as well. So it's a really good transits, multiple transits that you're having to expand your sense of who you are, to really find, more about you and also more about past lives. And you could find that you have more karmic relationship kinds of people come into your life during a 12th house Jupiter transit as well. So during the new moon, Leo, definitely set intentions for how you want to experience this Jupiter energy, because it's all happening in the same place, in the same house. Saturn and Neptune in Aries together now. They're together now. They are transiting your 9th house of expansion, long distance travel, learning and growth and publishing and, teaching. So this is going to be a very growthful month for you, I feel. With Saturn and Neptune transiting in your 9th house and getting squares from Jupiter in the 12th house, I think this month is going to feel quite spiritual to you, and you could decide to travel long distance to another country. If you don't already have travel plans, you may already have those plans. Also, we're going to get a full moon in Sagittarius on June 11th that is going to trine your energy. Sagittarius fire to your fire, Leo, and that's happening, that full moon, in your house of creativity, children, true love, and romance, the house of inner child delight, adventure. So there's a real theme of adventure here. The only caveat is that often when we're having a bunch of energy transit our 12th house, we don't want to necessarily take an adventure, but the 12th house is also foreign lands. So you could decide, you could get that bee in your bonnet of I want to take a trip for sure. Or even I want to move to another country. That could happen as well. On June 26th, and yes, if you want to attract a relationship to have a full moon in your 5th house, it could be a full moon, it could be a culmination or something coming to fruition in terms of romance or love, or you're realizing where a romance maybe isn't working for you anymore. That could happen as well. Say what you need to say. That's a big part of this full moon. Release, let go, celebrate anything that you want to celebrate. Can be closure or manifestation. On June 26th, Mercury, Leo, is going to enter your sign. And it's a big deal because Mercury in your sign, in your 1st house, can really get the wheels turning. Communications, more emails, more conversations, more reflection, especially on who am I now? Who do I want to be? What do I want to create in my life? Where am I headed? Where am I going? All that Cancer energy in your 12th house, then Mercury in your 1st house of you. Also your vitality. You could be doing more moving and shaking, more moving around, more stuff with relationships. Your relationship house is right across from your 1st house. So it can definitely be more communication back and forth and deciding what action you want to take. Keep in mind that Mercury will shift into retrograde motion in July. So whatever you're deciding, whatever you're doing in June, end of June, doesn't start till June 26th, you could end up, changing your mind. That could happen. There's nothing wrong with that. But just know that, things that you decide or think about or mull over from June 26th to, the time that Mercury goes retrograde, mid-July, you may end up changing your mind. So let me pull you to not necessarily. Sometimes we're good with everything that happens before Mercury turns retrograde, and then it's the mind changing that happens once Mercury turns retrograde. So no hard and fast, proclamations do I have for you here. It's more about just knowing that if you're on the fence about something, then sometimes it's best to wait. Sometimes it's not the time to act. If it's not an absolute yes, it's a no. One of my favorite quotes from Cheryl Richardson. Let me see what the cards have to say for you, Leo. Beautiful Leo. For your month of June, Your card is protecting your future. Check out the card. It's the dragonfly, the dragon's hoard. You may very well feel like you're in a time of transition. That's the dragonfly. The dragonfly is the symbol of transformation. And because we're getting that Mars-Uranus challenging transit this month, and because Venus in Taurus will make a square to Pluto in Aquarius, also fixed energy, and Pluto in Aquarius is retrograde and it's future focused, you could feel like you're a bit in, I want to protect what I think I want for my future, but I'm not sure yet. You could feel a little bit in the in-between time. But there is so much light here, and there's so much. See the purple with the dragonfly, to me, that's consult the divine. Don't forget to consult the divine. There's a portal of energy here. You're in the middle of a transformation, some of you. Jupiter transiting your 12th house for the next year is protecting you, protecting the future. It's protecting you and your future. So if you want to claim that you are protected or anything else you want to claim, Leo, let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear. My beautiful friend, thank you so much for joining me for your June astrology, the key transits and dates, as well as your June horoscopes. Thank you for giving this video a like, a thumbs up. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing this video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, for taking a moment right now, if you're not already subscribed, to tap that subscribe button, to tap the notification bell so you get reminders when I upload my next video. I so appreciate your support. If you would like to do a private reading with me, an astrology consultation, or a coaching session, go to my website, check out my astrology offerings, my clarity coaching sessions. Read the testimonials from other clients who have worked with me. You should get a sense whether you feel called. We could do a heart's desire reading. We can do a life purpose reading, a natal chart, a relationship harmony. Also, I offer 90-minute astrology consultations if you would like extra time to talk about anything that is of immediate concern for you now. I love sharing with you your gifts, your talents, the strengths in your chart, as well as the challenges, how you can move through those, and the transits that are happening right now. What do they say about your life, your future, and the next step if you're not sure about the next step to take? So go to my website, check it all out. The links are below this video in the description box. And I have a free gift for you. That free gift is a soothing guided meditation and will bring you into connection with your divine source, with the unconditional love of spirit, helping to give you guidance on anything that is most up for you now. If you'd like to receive my free gift, go to my website, sign up to get my weekly inspirational astrology updates direct to your inbox, and you will get my free gift instant download, guided meditation at the same time. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings, what you're sensing about June astrology. I would love to hear. And until my next video, I am sending you all my love.